for now, at least. They really need to make this buy work, or at the very least get the bomb down. Not a great peek. Haven was ready for it. Into a 5 versus 3. Quick rotations coming in. A lot of damage being traded through these smokes. A few kills even as well. Back and forth for both teams, actually, but obviously it's that solid man advantage. The CTs have got Sibyat with the last bullet one tap. That's certainly one for the highlight reel, I suppose, and they're actually coming back into this. Flarich does put a stop to the madness, and Yukandar with the final kill. Did look a little bit scary there, and I suppose good economic damage done by DreamEaters, but ultimately, you know, Prosto looking good, continuing to extend the lead. And their money, because of how decisive some of these rounds have been, not really going to feel too much of a dent, despite losing a few too many players there.
Yeah, back onto the pistols again for DreamEaters. It's not looking too great so far here on the T side of Overpass. Looks like they're going for a quicker approach, though. Sending a few players straight up through connector, getting up close and personal with those pistols, or at least hoping to. Of course, pros, though, haven't really been getting all too aggressive themselves on the CT side. They've been sticking pretty passive. And with that, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for them to actually try and get up close and personal with those pistols. But let's see. Even again, playing a very similar position to that previous round. This time, though, of course, he is going to stick to the M4. It's Yekindar on the primary op. So again, they are pretty capable of just being able to kind of hand that weapon around to whoever feels they need it, whoever's in the positions, whoever feels a bit more confident. Oh, that was a good nade, though. But yeah, actually does manage to find the opening kill over towards, I believe that was B. Trades coming back in, though. Yekindar with a nice little nade to bring it in return. But Forrester, I was going to say, should have pretty much had a free kill. Eventually gets it. But it was a little more awkward than it really should have been. The nade, it could maybe deny the bomb plant. And there you have it. It takes down Speedak. Back into a 3v3 now. And the bomb, I believe it is dropped in the open.
Yeah, I think for a second there, they were kind of thinking we should just run away and save this one. But now we're dropping that bomb and evening things back up. They're given a bit more control. They pick up 2 more kills. The CTs have done a good job with their utility. You know, that extra money that they're able to invest. And they will secure the 8th round, saving it from the jaws of defeat, so to speak. AWP recovered as well. Just a little bit of, you know, the old classic. You see an AWP and pistols can quite easily overwhelm it if you're not careful. Prosto now with, what, 5 in a row? DreamEaters, I think rightly so, calling a bit of a pause. Things not looking too great. I think this one, this game, of course, we had that player to watch in the form of Yukandar. And he's looking pretty good here so far on Overpass, on that AWP, especially. Top of the scoreboard by quite a way. We talked about the need for individuals to continue to step up if Prosto were able to take this series 2-0, and it's looking pretty good for them if DreamEaters aren't able to figure out how to shut down this young gun.
Yeah, not going to be an easy task. It's a good performance across the board, but yeah, Yekindar currently sitting at 16-4. The dude is just completely unstoppable right now. It's been a real struggle to try and actually deal with him. Bit of a slower game as well, I believe, from Kinky, which isn't going to help their chances, of course. You can see, of course, on your screen, guys, the Twitter asked for myself and Scriv if you want to go ahead and actually give us a follow at Dean Brownie and that's Scrivcasts. But yeah, hopefully this pause won't last too long. We'll be able to get back into the action. The op actually does come out for DreamEaters, but for now it's in the hands of Crad, and a second one going to be brought out for Speedak. That's what I was wondering. I was thinking, will he drop that over to Speedak, or is he going to keep it for himself? And I guess they couldn't really decide, and they went for a double op setup instead.
Fair enough. I mean, it's kind of in a situation where unorthodox things like this might just work out. You know, they're a little bit desperate, I think, is ultimately the word to use. Just want to get another one on the board to regain a bit of that confidence. Because, you know, right now it's not looking too good for them. They're not able to start stringing rounds together. Nice bit of nade damage done early on. Got to watch the head, though. Kinky almost finds it. Move in towards short. He spots out Yukandar, and Yukandar's not quite quick enough on the reaction. So DreamEaters actually gaining an advantage quite early on here, and as Kenzor tries to retaliate, he gets taken down. So 5 versus 3. DreamEaters, the pause seems to have worked out, and the AWPs doing good work so far.
Yeah, I guess Overpass is a map where there's a good few angles to definitely post up and catch some players off guard with the ops. So it's a good start. Pushing into the bomb site, though, could still potentially be a little bit difficult, but it seems like Prosto have taken a bit of a gamble. They've actually stacked up that B bomb site. I was going to say it could work out. The bomb is still over towards that side of the map currently, so I guess we do just have to wait and see how it's going to go for them, but actually tempted to rotate back around, this seems. Sadly, they don't realize this is the wrong decision. With only 40 seconds remaining, it's pretty much confirmed at this point that the bomb will have to commit to B since it's outside Monster.
Bit of utility being used. Do like that smoke. Nice and funky, nice and easy. But unfortunately, with only 20 seconds remaining, you know, that Molotov's really going to slow down the flank at the very least. The rest of the team moving towards A very quickly through connector. Forrester to drop Avon. The bomb going to go down, and unfortunately the flank not really finding a great deal, but it doesn't matter all so much, because obviously after those first 2 initial frags being picked up, Prosto don't have a great hope of taking this one back. You know, Avon was the last line of defense, as it were, and he falls fairly easily. Still going to be able to buy up into the next round, but DreamEaters at the very least, you know, still in with a fighting chance. They put a stop to the tear, and they look fairly good doing so. It's a fairly decisive round, so that pause for them seemed to work out very well indeed. Terrorists win.
Yeah, can they make it work consistently, though, is the question, because Prosto, of course, now they will be aware of the fact that that double op is in play. They, of course, have enough money to actually reinvest into this one quite easily as well. Should be able to find an op themselves if they want it. And I seen there just as the last second before we went out into this shot that Avon did actually pick one up. So op in play, the AUG back into the hands of Yekin there. That's the weapon we've seen him have some massive performances with. And let's see how this round is going to go, as it seems like Prosto actually do want to try and take up the pace themselves. They want to try and bring it to DreamEaters instead of just sitting back on the bomb sites as they have been pretty much. And actually, Crad being tagged down early on. He's brought quite low. I believe it was an op shot coming in from Avon to manage to actually connect. But they do decide to just fall back off now. Not wanting to try and hang around for too long, I guess.
Really slow-paced rounds for the most part. It's going to work out for the CT side. Avon very lucky to get away. Got stuck on the wall thanks to the flash. Obviously removing a great deal of his vision. He's not really got a great deal of control, you know, other than what the CT have given them. There's no aggression coming out from the CT side, so it's kind of everywhere that the CTs expect them to be. You know, they pretty much are. Moving in towards B, though. Def will take down Speedic. Crad, very low HP indeed as well. There's not a great deal of time left. Players are dropping left, right, and center. Things looking really good for the CT side to get this reset in here. There's not a single kill being picked up yet. And there you go. Prosto with another brilliant round. Hard reset onto DreamEaters. Not a single kill. The money in the lead continues to grow for the CT side, as DreamEaters still not looking as consistent as we would like.
Yeah, they can still get a pretty solid buy at least in. I just saw Forrester buy up a Mac 10, even though he had, I think it was like 5k, so he would have had enough for an AK. Yeah, he still has 2,000 in the bank, and he's gone for a Mac 10 and full utility, so that doesn't make sense, because I feel like he could have got the AK pretty much with that full utility, because the Mac 10, of course, being 1,050, the AK being 2,700. Doesn't make sense, but never mind. We'll go ahead and focus back on this round, as it is a quick play towards the B-bomb site. Initial fragment down from the CTs, but the trades do come back in. Kenzor with a nice little spray down, and suddenly it's left all onto Kinky in a 1-on-3. Looking to try and push up closer to see if he can find anyone, but Def is boosted with the AUG, and he'll finish it off as it's double digits for Prosto, 10-4.
Yeah, it's starting to look really dangerous now. Like probably an 11-4 at least based off of the buy that we're going to see here. Just the one AK. Everybody else on those $500 pistols of particular assortments. A little bit of utility, but really not workable. It's going to be difficult to say the least. You know, they've been struggling against the rifles, really. It's not looking good. It's going to have to be a hell of a CT side. Certainly said it's where Prosto struggled themselves, which was on the T side, so I guess maybe it's that. Still, this momentum, the plays coming in, Flaric just proving how this half has gone. Pure destruction from Prosto to secure an 11-4 scoreline. Really, really good.
There are parents. They can fix the world that they broke.
Like, if DreamEaters can pick it up, then they're in a great chance to try and actually begin to build up that momentum on the CT side for themselves. But let's see. It looks like we should be ready to get back into things pretty soon, at least. Just looking at that scoreboard, though, it was a solid enough start, of course, for DreamEaters. Then it just kind of completely unraveled. The 5 rounds in a row, then one comes in for DreamEaters. They get reset instantly, and then they're just looking at an 11-4 scoreline after initially we thought they were looking pretty solid.
Yeah, I think this is just it, right? It's kind of, again, once things fall apart, they just don't really know how to recover back from it. They got one round. It was based off of, you know, a pause where sure they would have talked about the strategy for that round. It's a little bit unorthodox with the double AWP set up on the T side. You know, that's okay in the one round, but unfortunately it just consistently does not seem to be sound for them. And sure, they won like, what, 5 rounds in a row before DreamEaters were able to take one, but Prosto had built up so much economy that losing that one round really did not mean anything. You know, the CT side economy is something where even if you do win a lot of rounds in a row, if they're close, it can be fairly costly, and you could still, you know, you eventually lose that one round. It's been kept close for the past 4 or 5, and you have someone on like a FAMAS or someone on an MP9 or whatever. So there is like a weak link, but everybody, you know, is able to rebuy with like 6 grand buys or whatever. So it just wasn't a very competitive half at all from DreamEaters.
Yeah, coming into this pistol now, let's see how things are going to go. Avon did actually get damaged up early on, so he's not looking too healthy, but it may not be the biggest of deals in the outcome of the round. We will just have to wait and see, of course. But it seems like... Apologies. It seems like they do just want to try and favor towards this A-bomb site. Smoke, pretty standard, going down towards the stairs. That's actually going to force the player who was playing a little bit more passive to push forward to the truck. So up close and personal now against the Glock. He could be in for some trouble, but it's still working out for him. He's able to find himself one. Eventually, though, it's Yekindar yet again to step it up when it's required. Prosto pulling it back into a favorable position now with the 3v2. He up close, though, he has a chance. Death. He knows that he's just around that corner. Some damage being put in. Forrester as well taking that duel. But so far, none of the kills are being found. And actually, it's a problem for Kinky because he's been hunted down and he has indeed been removed from the round.
Yeah, pretty important kill for him to find, I think. But unfortunately, you know, like I say, he didn't. Playing this super safe on the T side of things. Forrester takes a lot of damage and does manage to get the return. But I think it's going to be known that he's low, and unfortunately doesn't get that running headshot. Def will take him down. Second half pistol goes the way of Prosto. So that will be the second one of the game, I believe. And of course, a 12-4 scoreline now really starting to look scary. Because DreamEaters just don't seem to have much of a game plan. Sure, there is a bit of a random element, especially to that T-side pistol, but still, I think it's just not looking too good. Going to go for the eco, and then hope to God that they can win it once they pull the buyout next round.
A little bit of a swap there. I even wanted the AK. I guess swapping the Mac 10 over to Yekindar means maybe he's the one that wants to try and get the op out early on. He wants to try and build up some money, perhaps. But yeah, up against the 5 USPs in this round, we don't really expect DreamEaters to find anything at all. But who knows? Again, they can surprise us. But it should be a 13-4 scoreline in pretty much every single world. And there we go. Yekindar able to find one with the Mac 10. Definitely do the same. And although it is shut down in the end by Prosto, they do lose a couple of players. And considering DreamEaters put no investment at all into that round, it's not too bad of a find for them. But, of course, 13-4 now, they get the buyout. This gun round has to go in their favor. Otherwise, I think we're looking at a quick 2-0 being brought out from Prosto.
Here we go then. Pretty much last chance saloon for DreamEaters. They're going to need to pull this one out of the bag. Good start as Crad finds a kill peeking in towards Monster. Certainly been one of the louder names on that DreamEaters side. Immediately traded back by Yekindar, who the loudest name in the entire game so far. Been performing very, very well indeed. 4 versus 4 very quickly into this round. Not a great deal of utility for the CTs to use. It's going to come down to finding those frags either before or during the site hit. It does appear that it's going to be B.
Yeah, not going well. Just quick entries.
Yeah. Unfortunate for the T side. The CT side, rather, that it kind of falls apart very quickly indeed. 4 versus 2. I mean, what can they really do other than save? And it is looking like Prosto are probably going to end up taking this one in 2-0 fashion. Not going to be a great buy coming in the next round. And, you know, they pick up the early frag, but then it's kind of, again, a situation of, like, what do they do with that?
Yeah, that's the issue now. Saving over these 2 rifles, even, they're still not really going to have enough for a full buy coming out, so it's a tough one. Do they go ahead and force buy, or are they going to actually try and take an eco and play for overtime? So it'll be tough. We will... Oh, we had some issues, I think. I'll have to get my webcam back on there. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one, whether they want to go for the force buy or not here. That is the question. I think it was just a quick game crash, so we should be back in pretty quickly. And it seems like there we go. Didn't miss any action either. It was just the freeze time. We got to see our beautiful faces for the freeze time instead of just the countdown. So I feel like that's a win-win situation for it.
Yeah, to be fair, you know, it's all good. Didn't miss a great deal, but yeah, it's really not looking too good here. I don't know, you know, another week by, they just have gotten back into this passive setup. I think there's a tiny bit of aggression in a connector, but not a great deal. It's kind of, you know, pull out that aggression. There's no one there. And then move up with it. They're actually doing something here, to be fair. Nice little coordinated push from short and connector. But still, that lack of utility on most of the players going to be a bit of a problem. And the fact that they've quickly rotated over towards A, I'm not so sure about this one, boys. They're now probably going to catch themselves out coming back towards B. That smoke does allow Kinky to just creep in a little bit. Slowly but surely they're gaining control of this site, but the CTs seem to be okay with that, as it's all going to be down to Flaric very quickly indeed. Oh, he picks up the first 2, though. Don't give him these opportunities. Work together, guys. I know that he's only one man, but one man that can certainly get the job done. Finds the first 2 very quickly, gets the third as well. Playing the headshot angles not like this. Guys, no way. The 4th comes through. He gets the reload off. Sivya up high, though, will take him down with a bit of an off angle and saves the day, but that might just work out for Prosto, to be honest. It was looking like a relatively clean round where they'd start to maybe build up a bit of economy. However, now, the amount of money that these players have got, they're going to be able to get out 3 of the, 4, I suppose, with the drop of the conventional rifles. But goodness me, that could have really, really looked bad.
Yeah, it's not ideal. but it's a lifeline for DreamEaters that they did need. Without picking that one up, the game was pretty much over and done anyway. So it's a chance, but again, they do have to avoid that reset, and that's something they haven't really been able to do so far throughout this game. So you definitely do have a right to be very worried, Scriv. I would agree with you. But let's see. Speedak on the up. They're looking to try and maybe find an opening pick early on, as they did get a little bit more aggressive on mid. Although so far it hasn't really given them too many opportunities. Looks like the push is going to come in, and that could be dangerous because Kinky goes for the peak, spins around and almost able to take down Dev. Speedak doesn't need to ensure the trade, so it keeps a man advantage over in favor of the DreamEaters side for now. But a 4-on-3 early on, they can be pretty happy with that. It looks like they're going to go ahead and just fall back off and play a little bit more passively at this point from them bomb sites itself.
It's all a question of where they decide to go. It seems, you know, they're preparing a little bit more for the A site with the possibility of some fast rotations from B. Has yet to be sold on the idea, though. Of course, the nature of Overpass, it's so very easy to rotate between A and B as a terrorist once you get that connector control. Speedic on this AWP, the first port call for Prosto as the smoke begins to dissipate on short. Molotov's going to go flying in. They're not quite checking the angle, but a great flashbang and a great pickup from Avon as he takes down 2. Secures the man advantage for Prosto. He will actually burn. I think a bit of an accident to walk into that one. However, Crad and Forrester now have to move into the site. They have to move quickly. The UMP, the lack of kit's not really great. Crad gets a bit desperate through the smoke. All onto Forrester to essentially keep his team in it. Picks up 1, but left low, and an easy pickup for Kenzor. Now trying to retrieve the port. Unfortunately not able to do so, but match point. They got 10 in a row to work with, Dean. This is looking very, very good indeed for the Prosto side.
Yeah, it is. It's looking great right now for them. Should be able to just close things out here pretty easily. I don't think the buy is going to be very good at all for DreamEaters. We'll have to have a look now in a second and see what they've actually been able to find. And yeah, it's really terrible. It's really disgraceful to even call it a buy at this point. It's an MP9, 3 Deagles, and a 5-7. This could be the end of things for DreamEaters. Prosto a single round away from sending themselves on into the grand finals. And already the opening kill being put in their favor, things begin to look even better for them. It's tough now. DreamEaters massively on the back foot. They're going to have to pull off 10 rounds in a row. And that's if they can even manage to get anything done in this one, because it's just not happening. Speedak finds 1. But again, trades, that's something that Prosto are going to be very happy with.
Nice flashes in towards middle, but not to be expecting this one. Kenzor, though, to take him down. Unfortunately, it was a nice little angle to have, but not really workable. Crad does get the trade back, and that's going to be an AK retrieve, but it's still going to need a miraculous play in order to take this one. Forrester on the Deagle getting a little bit cheeky, though. Might just be able to catch out the bomb planter. Unfortunately, it's on the wrong side of the site for him. They are kind of savvy to the facts as to where they're coming from. Forrester falls. Crad not really close enough to trade. 1 versus 3 required. And in quick time with no kit, manages to pick up 2. The Molotov going to buy some time. Does encroach around Truck. Kind of aware of the fact that they're underneath. Fire keeps his position away, but not finding the kills, unfortunately. He just doesn't have the time. And it's 16-5. DreamEaters on their own map pick. I throw things away. Really, really disappointing stuff from them over the course of the games that you know, you and I have casted, at least in these past couple of days. Certainly some work that needs to be done on that DreamEaters side.
Yeah, and it's a little bit disappointing as well, just because when we watched them on the 26th, Stevens' Day, the first day that this tournament came back after Christmas, we seen them, of course, playing against Prosto. This was a rematch, and they put up just such a much better performance. They had a 16-10 victory, I believe it was, on Overpass. I can actually just double check that because it may have been 16-8. I have a terrible memory. No, it was 16-10. Got it right the first time. I need to just be confident in myself, Scriv. But yeah, they had a 16-10 victory then. Coming in right now, we said it was going to be a close matchup, although we were thinking Prosto definitely had a chance with how much better they've been playing the past couple of days. players. But no, DreamEaters, it definitely seems like they're beginning to struggle a little bit. They haven't been able to get much done. I think they did have a roster change pretty recently as well, though, so that's definitely something that maybe could be slightly attributed to it. But it just wasn't what we were expecting. They come into their own map choice and just kind of completely fall apart.
Yeah, very much so. Especially after on Inferno, it looked kind of good from them, despite losing it. They pulled a few rounds back towards the end. They seemed to straighten themselves out a little bit. But on Inferno, it was a case of too little, too late. On Overpass, it was just they looked like a complete mess and just really nothing in the back pocket, so to speak. It's something that we talked about a lot in that first half. It looked all right for a second where they gained the lead briefly. But as soon as things took a turn for the worse, they just weren't able to straighten it back out and figure out what was going wrong. So, yeah, it was not great. But that will, of course, mean that Prosto are going to go through to that grand final to face off against Unique. Now, it is scheduled for 5 o'clock Central European, which is in about 45 minutes. So we're going to have to throw to a quick little break. Well, I say quick, it's 45 minutes, but, you know, we will be back. That final is going to be on, of course, in just under an hour. Make sure that you are back here ready for it, as we will be for the best of 3 grand final here of the LOOT.BET Bullet Blizzard. It's going to be Prosto up against Unique. Do be sure to tune in. It's going to be a great matchup.
LOOT.BET.
That I'll enjoy. Move a little bit closer now. To some place where there ain't no crowds. I wanna get to know you right here and now. I got trapped in your touch the moment you took my hand. Led me all the way to the ocean sand. You told me don't worry as the moonlight gled. I pulled you in close, so whispered I'm not scared. I'm losing control of the lights in this place. Keep jumping around, all I see is your face. But you're moving closer, no time to escape. Your hand on my shoulder shoots me into space. And I can't deny how badly I need you now. 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 There's something about you I can't get out of my mind. It's amazing, baby, can't be without you. When I wake up to your messy hair and tired eyes, it's a beautiful sight. The time I saw you for the first time, I couldn't believe you were there for me, for me. Yeah, for a moment, I thought it was a dream. I had you and could call you mine, mine. You are a part of me, something no one's ever seen. You make me feel like I could be someone that you would stay with for eternity, forever, just you and me. You make me, you make me, you're making me better. You bring your part of me, something no one's ever seen.
I can't believe how the world we see is changing around us. No one else can see. You make me feel alive, yeah. Ooh, you make me feel alive, yeah. Ooh, I need you all the time. You got me thinking about you, touching by all night, and it feels just right, right. You bring out a part of me, something I once ever seen. You make me feel like I could be someone that you would stay with for eternity, forever, just you and me. You make me, you make me, you make me better.
Check your body. You can't sleep neither. Let's not sleep together. You can't sleep neither. Let's not sleep together. Check your body. Check your body. Check your body. Check your body. holding on to this, holding on. I know I'm holding on to this, holding on. Don't let me repeat it. Don't let me repeat it. Fast forward a year or two, friends have changed, but so can you. So can you. For too long